Hi, I am Vikas Kumar. I am Senior Data Analyst at Tiger Analytics with over 2.5 years of experience. Through this series, I will cover SQL fundamentals and Pandas fundamentals and deep dive into the most commonly asked interview questions. I will be also providing the intuition needed to approach any problem. I will explain each operation with detailed visuals to help you grasp the concepts fully. If you find this content helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. So let's get started. We will be starting with SQL execution orders. This is one of the most commonly asked interview questions. Many candidates reply differently by saying select is the first clause that is executed. But if you see, this is the actual order that I have provided here, and this is the description I have provided here. So, but yeah, you don't have to remember this. If you listen carefully, you will see how easy this order is. So, suppose you get some data and you want to apply any operation on that, and you want to get some result on top of that. So, in order to execute any SQL query, we need some data, right? So, first the from clause will be executed. This from clause is to select the data source. If you have two or three tables, then we will join those tables. So, second will be join. Now, we joined two or three different tables. Now we have one combined table. If you want to apply operation on a specific rows, then we can use where clause to select those specific rows. If you want to group the data, then we can use group by, and then if you want to select a specific groups, then we can use having. So after doing all the required steps, we get some final table. Now we can select that table. So you can see select is executed after 5 steps if you follow all the steps. Then if we select the table, then if you want to remove duplicates, then we can use distinct. Now, if you want to display the table in certain orders, then we can use order by. And if you want to select some top 10 rows, top 5 rows, or top 1 row, then we can use limit. Or if you want to select third element from the top, then we can use offset. So this will be the execution order, and you don't have to remember this. If you think mentally, then this is very easy. So first thing we will look at the join operations. So how you can think visually in your mind is it's very simple. Just take each row of a table, each row of the student table, and at the right side, take all the rows from the student table. So if you see here, I have taken first row of the student table. Then I self joined with the same table, so I got one and two rows from the right table. Now we select the second row and again select all the rows from the right table. So S1 is the left table, S2 is the right table. These you can think as your column names. So S1.id, S1.name, S1.marks. Similarly, for the right table, you can think like S2.id, S2.name, S2.marks. Now this is your final table. But here you'll be joining on S1.id equal to S2.id. So here we are saying join only on the matching IDs. So if you see S1.id is 1, here S2.id is 1. S1.id is 2, S2.id is 2. So only these two row will be merged. Now, after doing merging, we can select a specific rows using where. So here I applied where S1.marks is greater than 40. So see wherever S1.marks here, right? So we select see that 40 is equal to 40. So this row will not be selected, and 45 row will be selected, and that I have shown here. So now we can select any column we want. Here I select all the columns S1.id, S1.name, S1.marks, and similarly for S2 also. Now I'll be explaining this employee manager scenario, which is one of the most commonly asked interview question. So here I have provided a simple employee table with employee ID 1, 2, 3 and employee name Rahul Manish Abhay and manager ID with 2, 3 and null. So manager ID 2 means this Manish with employee ID. Then manager ID 3 means the employee with ID 3. So for Manish 3. So 3 is Abhay. So for Manish Abhay is the manager. For Rahul 2, Manish is the manager. So how do we merge this table? So first step is the same thing that I've shown here. In your mind, you can think something like this. First three column would be for employee, next three column would be for manager, and the same approach. Take first row, take all the rows of the table, 3. Then take second row, take all the rows from the table. Then take third row and take all the rows from the table. Now comes the tricky part. What we want to get from this table? We want to get employee name and what is the manager name. So one thing that come to mind is the left columns represent employee table and the right columns represent manager table. Here we have different IDs, right, on which we want to merge. We have employee ID, we have manager ID. And similarly, we have manager with their employee ID and their manager ID. We want to check employee manager ID with manager employee ID because like if two is the manager of one, then what is the employee ID of that manager? So that gives you this information, manager employee ID. So we want to merge on E dot employee manager ID and M dot employee ID. And these two rows will be matching. I will come to this part later. These two different scenario arise, that is inner join and left join. So how this works? Inner join only select those rows wherever it's matching. Left join will what do? It will select rows where it's matching, but it will select all the rows from the left table also. Now we will be seeing the practical demo. So I created one database. You can see this. Now we'll be using this database. So I will be executing this. Now in this database, we want to create one table a student with this like with ID, name and marks. So we'll execute this. We want to insert Rahul and Manish with their marks. So we'll be executing this also. Now two rows are there. Now we will see what is the content in this table. So we can select a star from a student. We can select this and we can run this to see what are the content in this. So we can see with Rahul has ID of 1, Manish ID of 2 with their respective marks. Now we are doing self join and we are merging on this s1.id and s2.id, and we are selecting only those rows where s1.marks is greater than 40. So we can run this also. Yeah, so now you got it right. Now I will be explaining this employee table also. So first we create one employee table. So we created one employee table. Then we want to insert in this employee. We insert the Rahul, Manish, and Abhay. So three rows affected we can see. Then if we, so see here we are just using join to just join the matching rows. So if you see we got two rows, right? For Rahul, the manager is Manish, and for Manish, the manager is Abhay. Now you see left join. So for left join, what will happen? We will also get Abhay here, but with no manager name, right? It will be null. So we can execute this also. So this you got it, right? I hope I was able to explain the join operation with clear visuals and also the demo. If you follow these steps, you will solve any kind of problem when you are asked to join the tables. Thank you.